Hey everybody, good morning. How are you? Several fun new things to share. First of all, I got a little tripod, and I appreciate your all's patience because I don't know what I'm doing with this, and people said I should be doing landscape, so I got a little tripod, which is new for me. Try recording a video landscape and look in the camera because it's not easy. You're used to looking at yourself. But I hope this works. I'm gonna go ahead and record this one if my eyes look funky because it looks like I'm not looking at you. Trust me, I'm trying. Please be patient. But they said, oh look, you can use your hands now and you can point at things like the sun. So it's better to do in landscape, so I'm hoping so. So today I wanted to talk about fun with languages, and I'll try to be brief because I could talk forever about languages, and that's why I'm wearing this. I got this the last time I was in Japan. I wanted something fun to wear, and I was lucky. I've been lucky in my life to get to spend a lot of time abroad. High school, I started studying Spanish, and because we had to have 2 years of a foreign language, so I had Spanish. Junior year, I decided I was going to take French. And I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee. It's a smaller town in Tennessee. And my high school was small. I went to University High School. It was the smaller high school. And for some reason, my junior year in high school, they decided to offer Japanese. And I was like, well, I need some extra credits, so I'll take Japanese too. So most people graduate with 2 credits of foreign language. I graduated with 6. I had 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French, and 2 years of Japanese. And people were like, how can you learn French and Japanese at the same time? Well, they're such completely different languages. It was easy. Well, it was easy for me. And that's one thing I was going to say about languages, is I realize it's not potentially everybody's topic, because not everybody likes languages. For some reason, they always came really easily to me, and I don't know why. They just kind of words stick in my head. I don't know why, but they did. So I had a lot of fun learning French, Japanese, and Spanish in high school. And then when I got to college, I continued to study those, and I decided, I love Eastern Europe. I had friends from Poland and stuff in college, and Russians. And so I decided to start studying Russian in college as well. And I've been so fortunate. And I'll talk in another video, I think, about travel. But I got to spend 2 summers in Japan. I got to spend a summer in Paris. And then I got to spend another summer in Paris, where I lived the rest of the year in France in a city named Tours. When I would tell people in America, my family, I was like, oh, I'm going to be living in France in Tours. They're like, oh, you're going to tour France? No, it's a city. It's a city. But, and the last month I was in Europe, I got to backpack all through Europe. So I went all through Scandinavia, I didn't go to Russia. I didn't get to go to Ukraine, but I did go to Poland, Romania. Anyway, so I got to see a lot of the world. Like I said, I've been to Japan twice, South Korea. So languages have been really important to me. And the reason I love languages is because you can connect to other people. I can tell you many stories over the years. One of my favorite stories is I was in Sweden, and I was at a youth hostel, and there was a Japanese man there, and he couldn't speak English. And I was surprised, but the lady at the desk couldn't speak English either, but she could speak French. And so I would translate so I'm in Sweden, and I'm translating between Japanese and French to this lady at the desk for both of them. They're like, where are you from that you speak all these languages? And I'm like, well, I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee. It's just fun that way. And here in Charlotte, you'd be surprised at how many Russians are here. Even just last week, I had to go to the dentist, and I had to take an Uber, and the Uber driver was Russian. He didn't speak any English. So I spoke to him a little bit in Russian, and I had to go to the doctor and get an ultrasound for this illness that I've had. And the nurse there was Russian, and I spoke to her a little bit in Russian. And she's like, you made my day that you were able to speak a little bit of Russian to me. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to communicate with people. Imagine living in Charlotte, North Carolina in the South. Russian isn't exactly a language a lot of folks study here in the South in the United States. So they were very happy, and very happy to meet somebody. And another wonderful story I have to tell is, like, when I came back from France, I was in Kingsport, Tennessee, small town in Tennessee, and people knew there was this little girl that had just moved down from Quebec, and she was 4 years old, and she was in the little daycare center. It was in the summer, and I had come back, and she was just terrified because she couldn't speak any English. And I went to volunteer to translate for her, and as soon as I walked in the door and all I said was bonjour, the girl ran up to me and hugged me and started crying. She was so thankful that there was someone there that could speak her language and connect with her in that way. So, to me, it's all about connecting with people and being able to reach them where they are and give them a sense of comfort. If you've ever been in a foreign country, where you don't speak the language, I think one of the first places I went to was Holland, and I don't speak Dutch, so it was, or the Netherlands, I guess we call it now. And I don't speak Dutch. But anyway, it was weird being in a place where no one, when I was in Germany, I couldn't speak German. So anyway, it really helps people when you learn a little bit of their language. So if you're interested in learning languages, I've learned now the best way to do it is definitely through YouTube. The world has changed. We've acknowledged how, children, I know I have several little children in my life, a 3-year-old right now. Not mine, my best friend has a 3-year-old, and he speaks English great. And he's not studying vocabulary lists. He's not studying conjugation tables. The way children learn languages is they spend years listening to it, and they learn little bits and phrases here and there, and then they're able to speak it. And that, finally, I think today in our society, people have learned that that's the way to learn languages. And YouTube is great at it. So I watch videos in Russian and French and Japanese, Spanish. Netflix is great because they have a lot of different foreign films in different foreign languages. So, I can watch different shows. I mentioned that in another video, the This Is Us. And so YouTube is great. The translation app, if you have an iPhone, you can talk directly there. AI, like I mentioned the other day, you can talk to it in a foreign language and practice. So if you ever had the idea, so I want to hear from you all, what languages you speak, if you've had difficulties, what kind of lessons and experiences you've had with languages. If you don't speak another language and you want to learn a language, comment below and let us know, and I can probably point you in a direction of some videos that I've watched in different languages. But it's so much easier. So now it's amazing when I watch, because my Russian wasn't very good because it had been years since I'd studied Russian, and Russian and Japanese are languages that I forget pretty quickly. They're not as easy to retain as French and Spanish in my brain, but a lot's been coming back to me. But I'm watching these Russian videos, and now I can actually understand what I'm watching, and I'm learning vocabulary so quickly without even studying it, because I'm just hearing it and I'm repeating it. And through these apps on my phone, I'm able to practice on the spot. And so if you ever have dreamed of learning a language, now is the time to do it, because it's so much easier these days. So anyway, I know I might have been a little long-winded because I'm very passionate about languages. And it's one thing I'm very, very grateful for. And I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to travel the way I did when I was younger. And so I wanted to share that with you. That's one thing to be grateful for, one way to bring joy into your life, and to help other people by speaking to them in their language. So please comment below if you've had any experiences like that. And again, I'm thankful for those of you who subscribe. So please like and subscribe, because it lets YouTube know who to send these videos to, people like you that would enjoy it. And again, as always, I'm grateful for each and every one of you all, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.